Hi, welcome to Do-It-Yourself Law Videos. Today we're going to cover how to file for divorce in Colorado. Now before we begin, as always, I have to give a legal disclaimer that this video is not legal advice, nothing that should be considered legal advice. This video only provides general information about how to start a divorce proceeding in Colorado. And remember, every case is different, and the information in this video may not apply to your case. And this video is not and cannot be a substitute for consulting with a licensed attorney. And that that's out of the way, let's begin. So today we're going to cover who might use this information, how to find the forms to start a divorce proceeding, how to fill out those forms, getting those forms filed with the court, and lastly we'll cover how to finish getting service of process done if you don't do a waiver of service. So let's talk about who might use this information. Obviously, you're ready to file for divorce, but you're really not sure how to begin. You need help finding the forms, and you need to make sure you have all the proper forms together before you file with the court. If that's what you're looking for, that's what we're going to help you get through in this video today. So let's get started. Let's talk about finding the forms. Now, I've got sample forms available on my website, DIYlawvideos.com. There's a link to my website and the page with all those documents in the description on the YouTube. Or if you're watching this on the site, just scroll down below the video and you'll find links to all those forms for you to download. You can also find all of these forms and more instructions on how to file for divorce on the Colorado Court's website. They have a great self-help section. Or you can go to Google, and Google will have all kinds of other great resources for you, as they always do. So let's talk about finding the forms. So there's 4 forms that you're going to need, and all of these, as I said, are on the website. First, you need your petition for dissolution of marriage. You need to fill out a case information sheet. You need to complete a summons. Really, you'll have the court clerk do it, but you're going to need to bring it with you when you file your case with the court. And then you need to finish service. So either do a return of service or a waiver of service, and we'll talk about how to get that done here later in the video. All right, so let's talk about filling out the forms. The first one I think we want to start with is the basic one, the Petition for Dissolution of Marriage in Colorado. The forms are pretty straightforward. You start with the caption, so put in the county information, the court address for whatever county you're in, the petitioner, that's going to be you if you're the one filing the case, and the co-petitioner, or this kid can be the respondent depending on how you do the case. Co-petitioner, respondent really mean the same thing, and those terms are used interchangeably throughout these forms. Co-petitioner really means that it's kind of both of you are filing together. A respondent means it's going to be more contested, that they're not really cooperating with it. If you have an attorney, they'll fill this out here, or the attorney will probably create all these forms for you, but regardless, you want to put in your name and your contact information here, whatever you have. Now, this part over here, you're going to leave blank. You're not going to have a case number yet. The court will give that to you when you file it, and they'll also assign it to a division in a courtroom. So this box remains blank, as well as this box up here. This is where the court will stamp it, saying that it was received by the court with the address of it. Now, the rest of this is pretty straightforward in terms of how to fill it out. Now, it's a petition for dissolution of marriage. The marriage is broken, and then you just got to fill out all the basic information, name, address, and other contact information for yourself. Then the co-petitioner respondent. And then you've got a few other things that you're going to want to get in here. You know, the date you separated, the date of the marriage, where you were married. If one of you if the wife is expecting a child, if you're pregnant, you got to check that box. Got to give names of and addresses of the children, especially if they're minor children. Complete this here if if you've lived in Colorado for 182 days, or if the kids have moved. If you need genetic tests, that's something that will be handled later on in the case. Now, if you've participated in any proceedings concerning parental responsibility before, you got to let the court know about that. If there's any other pending proceedings, or anyone else has custody of the kids, you got to give that notice to the court so that they can be involved. If the Department of Human Services has ever been involved, they've had custody of your kids, you've got to give that information to the court so that way the court can make those decisions, because those will be relevant if you have kids for how parental responsibilities will be allocated later on. If there's been prior restraining orders, so if somebody's had a domestic violence case before, or if somebody's had to go and get a civil restraining order against one party or the other, you need to let the court know about that so the court can be aware of that, because that will affect some of the preliminary orders that the court will issue at the beginning of the case. If there's an existing case for child support, you got to let the court know about that, because that may also supersede things that are going to be taking place later in the court. And lastly, 19, you're going to ask the court to enter orders regarding, there's a whole bunch of boxes here. Check whatever boxes apply or that you think are going to apply. If you're not sure, these are things that can change later on, but this just kind of gives the court a heads up on where the case is probably going to head and what some of the issues that you're expecting are going to be. If you request restoration of your name, this is usually for the woman. If you change your name prior prior, you'll leave that here. But even if you're not sure what you're going to do with this now, you can leave it blank, and you can take care of that when you get to permanent orders. So just because you put this in the petition, it's not set in stone yet. Really, this is just the initiating document that gets you into the court. It kind of preps the court for all the issues that are probably going to come up. But as you go through this process, more issues are certainly going to rise up. Next, this is just a lot of basic information that you need to be aware of and both parties need to be aware of. Read through all of this and read it carefully. If you violate any of these orders or you do any of these things, you start selling property or you start liquidating assets after you file the petition for dissolution of marriage, or you cancel insurance policies, that's something that can get you into trouble. So be careful about that kind of stuff. And if you're not sure, always consult with a lawyer about whether or not you should be doing something. Because basically the idea is once you start this proceeding, there should be a freeze on any party doing anything to cause any financial problems for the other party. And you have to go in front of the judge and you go into court to take care of those issues. So carefully read through this and make sure you follow all of those instructions very, very carefully. Now, lastly, the verification acknowledgement, this is where you sign it. If you're signing it together, you'll both sign it, and then you have to have it notarized. To get it notarized, there's probably two good ways to do that. Most banks have a notary on staff, so call your bank and see if they have someone who can do it, and they'll usually do it for you for free or for a nominal charge. If you don't have access to your bank or your bank doesn't have one, when you go into the courthouse, you can sign it there at the courthouse, and the court should have a notary that should be able to sign that document for you. Then you're going to take that document with you, but the next document you're going to fill out is a case information sheet. A lot of this information is already on that petition, but this also kind of breaks everything down and makes it more usable for the court. Caption, fill out just as you did before. Leave the case number blank, division blank, because the court will give you that information once you file it. Then it's just the basic information for both the parties. You use the petitioner and the co-petitioner respondent, your basic info so the court knows where to mail all the important documents to, names of children. If you need more room, attach a separate sheet for it. And let the court know if anyone's planning to be self-represented or if you're planning to hire an attorney. Then you just sign it. You don't need to have this one notarized. Once you've got that one done, the next one you're going to go to is a summons. Now the summons is, again, you're just going to print this out and take it with you. The only thing you're going to need to fill out on this is just this caption up here. So your names and the court address. The court's going to fill out the rest of this with the case number, and then the court clerk is going to sign it. This document is going to be mostly important just for the service of process, but you got to bring it with you so you can get one with the case number on it, and the court will give you some other instructions when you file it as to what you're supposed to do with it. So we got those forms filled out. Now you got to go file those forms with the court. Just go to your courthouse, whatever county you're in. So if you're in Denver County, you're going to go downtown to the Denver County Courthouse. Divorce stuff should be in the city and county building. If not, they'll give you instructions on where to go. Those things change. Or if you're in Arapahoe County, you're probably going to go to Centennial. If it's Douglas County, you'll go to Castle Rock. If you're not sure where your court is located, go to the Colorado Court's website. They have the information on every court address there, and you can always give the courts a call, and they'll probably give you a pointer on where you need to go. Now, once you file it with the court, here's a filing fee. It's probably going to be between $200 and $300. The fees change periodically. Sometimes they raise them just because the cost of doing business in the courts changes. So then you'll have everything pretty much ready to go. But you're not done yet. You have to complete service. Service can be done in a few ways. The first way is if you're working together and things are going well and you both want to file the case, you can complete what's called a waiver of service. Now, again, this is a sample form. It's on the website. You just fill out straightforward caption just as before. The court will give you the case number once you file, and then you're just going to fill out the blanks. It's pretty self-explanatory. You sign it and you have it notarized down at the bottom. That just says both parties are accepting service. No one's contesting that this proceeding is beginning, and they're going to cooperate at least at the beginning stage of this. Now, if that doesn't work, or you're just going to have the other person served because you're not talking, or you're not sure what they're going to feel about it, or they don't want to participate in this proceeding, then you have to do a return of service. Again, fill out the caption just as before. Court will give you the case number and what division it's assigned to, and the rest of this you don't have to fill out. The rest of this is going to be filled out by whoever completes the service of process. You can't do it yourself. There's a few ways you can do it. First, you can give it to the sheriff. Usually in the courthouse, there's a sheriff's civil office where they will do the service for you. This is probably the easiest and most reliable way to do it because when the sheriff knocks at someone's door, they can't give false information to a police officer, otherwise that can get them into trouble, and the sheriff will usually do a pretty good job of getting that done. If that doesn't work out or you prefer to go a different route, you can do a private process server. Just Google that and you can find them. They're all over Colorado in just about every county. You do the waiver services we talked about. And lastly, you can do something called service by publication. That's only done in extraordinary cases where one party has disappeared, they're absolutely not able to contact them, and I'll cover how to do that in a separate video because that's actually a complicated process and it's really a process of last resort. The court's not going to let you just go and do that on your own anytime you want. So again, all the forms for this and all the instructions are on my website. You can download them, fill them out there, or go to the Colorado Court's website and they'll help you through that process. So thank you so much for watching. If you thought this video was helpful, you liked the information in it, be sure to like this video. Or for more information on other issues that may arise during your divorce, subscribe to my channel and I'll have other videos on everything from how to fill out financial affidavits to doing child support as well as finishing the separation agreement. If you have any questions, leave me a comment on the YouTube channel or submit the contact form on my website. Thanks again for watching.